Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on what is the most amazing Memorial Day, everyone. Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
What does Memorial Day mean to you, Lisa?
Oh, it definitely is in remembrance of all those who died to secure our freedom here in this country. And I take it very seriously. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can get wrapped up in just having that extra day off work, but it really is a time to, remember the sacrifices these men and women have made and also their families. So time to enjoy the day off, but also obviously remember why we are.
And also continue the service, like as an example, Doug. Do you feel that kids growing up, because we often have this conversation in Australia when it comes to Veterans Day, okay, do young kids know what it means now? Grow in school, do they actually celebrate Memorial Day? Do they understand the purpose of it?
They do. I mean, at least in the schools that my children have been to, they do make it a point. The teachers have always been very good about whether it's Memorial Day or Veterans Day, they always have, a lot of times they have assemblies too, and they bring in veterans. They've had Doug in at Veterans Park a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
And, but they bring in many different veterans throughout the city, and it's really nice. And I think the children, they get it. They do get it. We received a ton of letters from kids after Doug spoke at the school, and just the attention that they had to the details of his speech was amazing. Back when I was in school, I can't say that I paid half attention a lot of time. I was off sleeping or playing with somebody else, and here these kids were actually really paying attention.
Well, there's one thing that I do love about America is that you are very patriotic, because in Australia we were talking about Veterans Day just then, but also Anzac Day, which is a very big holiday for Australia. And a lot of kids, unfortunately, don't know what that really means anymore. You know, it's a shame we don't have that same patriotic feeling.
Yeah, I think we definitely do here, even with Girls on the Run. And one of our last practices of the season, they do a community service hour, and they get to vote on what you want to do over that hour, and they decided to write thank you notes to men and women in the military on their own.
Did they come up with that idea?
Yes. Well, one child, raised her hand and suggested it. Another, and then we all voted, and that's what they wanted to do. So I think kids are taught in school. I think it's as you become an adult, you get caught up in your life and forget. But I think kids are more empathetic.
It's true.
And I remember the very first basketball game I ever went to in America, which was in Utah. No, it was actually in Denver when I first traveled here. I remember everyone all of a sudden stood up and they brought out and honoured some service members. And I thought, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? But then someone said to me, well, Troy, this is what happens. And I thought, I like this. It sort of is a nice way to show remembrance and also the appreciation of what the armed forces do in this country. All right, enough of my chit-chat, everyone. We're going to head straight into today's topic, and parents taking children's birthday parties way too far. If you think no, you may change your mind after hearing that. Did you hear what I just said? After hearing these stories. I haven't got my good teeth in. It's Memorial Day.
We just think it's your accent sometimes. We just think,
I never say after. Oh, I would have been slapped over the head with a ruler at school if we said after, because it's after. Okay,
but you actually say after. You to go you don't say the R.
Say that again.
When you're saying after in a sentence with your
accent. You say after.
After.
We say after. Yeah. Will I get back to my story?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll find
a parent sent out a note with the birthday party invite asking for only gift cards and clothes, and other gifts should include a gift receipt. What do you think of that? Would you send this out to your kids, friends, Lisa?
Yeah, actually, I do. I do include.
What?
Yeah, when I give a gift, I give them the gift receipt inside, just in case the child already has it.
But would you tell people they have to do that, giving you a gift?
No, I would not.
That's why Katie.
I thought you were asking if I have done that when I've given a gift to someone.
I always put it in there, but I wouldn't ask someone.
I would never ask. Yeah.
That's interesting.
If I'm doing clothes or something, I'll give someone.
I would
that
keep
gift
the receipt. I would keep the receipt and said, and I would say, oh, I have the receipt if you'd need to exchange it,
Right,
or I
right.
didn't buy the right size.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's interesting. Another parent demanded that people spend no less than $67 on gifts. Hello.
Wow.
But it says £50 there, which works out to be about 68 pounds.
Okay, keeping it real. I usually for kids' birthday parties,
What
I
do
try
you spend?
to about $10 for a gift.
For a gift?
Just a little gift, just a little toy. They don't, they're not.
I'm spending too much,
expecting-
obviously.
They don't expect anything
Really?
major. Yeah. They'll
But they
ask-
expect more than one.
well, not per person. I would say no, they don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it depends on the age because, when you have kids in elementary school, you get invited to birthday parties all the time.
Right.
So you just bring a little toy for the kid. But I think, for me, I obviously don't have children, so I'm not going to these parties all the time. But I would say I spend about 20
Okay. Well,
on a
look,
little toy. I don't know.
I don't know. I've always been the fun uncle, or what most of my godchildren call me, because they always know they're going to get the big gift. Do you know what I mean? Because even on their first birthdays, I remember buying a swing set, and my friends,
Wow.
it arrived. I had organised someone to come up and erect it and all that sort of stuff before the party started. And I walked in, I said, "Hi everyone," more gift bags. And my girlfriend said to me, "Are you serious?" She said, "Did you have to outdo everyone?" I said, "Well, what do you mean it's got a slippery dip?" And she went, "Honey," she said, "the kid doesn't even know what it is." And I went, "She'll grow into it."
Harrison is going to want me to invite you to our party.
Okay.
I'm just going to put that out there right now.
And here's the thing, how much are people spending on birthday parties? I don't know whether you remember this conversation that I had with you. I came to America probably in 2007, I can't remember. And I saw this TV show where little girls would go into their salon with their mother and have little manicures and pedicures and blah, blah, blah. So I went home and opened a business called Princess Parties, okay? And it got a lot of press, 60 Minutes, front page of the newspapers, because kids would come in, or little girls between the age of 5 and I think there was 11 or 12, and they would have chocolate mud facials, manicures, pedicures. It was all themed around princess parties.
Cute.
They'd have tiaras and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But I said to some of the clients in my hair salons, I said, "Okay, what do you do at these birthday parties?" "Troy, you have to have gift bags for everyone." Well, let me just tell you, the average cost, because you could have 10 people at these birthday parties,
Yes.
it was $2,000 to book it. Then the goodie bags that I used to put together were $50. So it was, I'd have 3 birthday parties a day, not me doing it,
Yeah.
but my team.
Wow.
3 birthday parties on a Saturday and 3 on a Sunday. I couldn't believe it. And the parents were like, "Have you got goodie bags for 100? I'm like, what is going on? What am I missing here?
Parents evidently have money to burn.
Yeah, I think it depends on the budget, but parties that I've been to where they have the goodie bags, it's usually something you made yourself with maybe some
Oh, that's
candy
cute.
in it, or like a thank you note for coming and some candy. And you kind of make them yourself with a cute little
Like
bow.
little
So-
bubbles or maybe
Yeah,
some plastic
bubbles.
rings.
When I was growing up,
Candy.
I didn't have the big birthday party.
Yeah.
I got a cake from Grandma,
That's
who made
that's
the
how mine
cake
was
with the
too.
fruit salad on the side and the
Yeah.
really tacky candles.
Yeah,
lived
I
on a
would get
farm.
like a sleepover with a couple friends and like pizza and stuff. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Okay, this is something that I don't know. People say I don't give a lot of compliments, but when I do mean it. And well, they can sometimes be a little awkward, right? So what is the best way to take a compliment? One writer suggests that when we receive a compliment, we tend to shift the attention. Like in response to, "I like your shirt," you say, "Thanks, my mum bought it for me," right? Or, "I like your shirt too." That means in the US, a compliment is usually a conversation starter. So the best way to take a compliment is to turn it into a chat. And I said to Katie when we were talking about this, I said, "Well, okay, Katie, let's just role play here. Katie, I really like your dress."
And I'd say, "You won't believe this deal that I got. I got it at, TJ Maxx for whatever price. Have you been to TJ Maxx?" Let's say it was a unique store. But
At this stage, I've walked away.
No, but I think that it is hard sometimes to accept compliments because you don't know what to say. Especially, it wouldn't be awkward between any of us, but people that maybe you don't know. someone on the street or maybe an acquaintance is giving you a compliment, I think sometimes people feel kind of bashful and you don't want to seem gloating. Like if they say, "Oh, you look really nice today," you're like, "I do." You know, like
Yes.
I think people don't know what to say, but turning it into a conversation, I think is a good little tip.
What's hard for me is when somebody gives a compliment to you and then they bash themselves kind of tagged onto it.
As
Like
an
they
example.
Like for instance, I had a woman in the morning say, "Lisa, you look beautiful." And she said, "Not like me. I'm like all scruffy and dirty today because I'm working out in the garden." And I was just like,
Well, she probably was
I
scruffy
know,
and
but
dirty.
what do I say? I don't know what to say in that moment.
Say, honey, I don't look like this when I do the garden either.
I know exactly. I mean,
don't
but that's
know.
but when when somebody surprises you, and I'm not, they don't. Sometimes they're just like, "Oh, I wish I could look that good." You know what I mean? It's kind of like, "Oh, I don't know what to say. I don't," and because you look beautiful, and but it comes off disingenuous sometimes, and just because they said something to me, and I don't want to come off like that. It's awkward. This is a great topic because it's really awkward.
I think it's awkward in America because, and I've brought this up to you before, is that I feel, and this is just also being a foreigner, I guess, I feel Americans are more like, "Hey, honey, you look really cute today," and then they're on to the next thing. That I don't feel is real, or it's not a compliment. Do you know what I mean?
You
Or-
expect a conversation kind of to
I
come from
look,
that
to
at
be
that point?
honest with you, I struggle with it, and I also I'm not a big fan of giving compliments all the time. But when I give you one, I truly mean it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tell us what you think. Head over to Midday Kentucky's Facebook page. I think it's a good topic.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I think so too.
All right, it's that time of year when high school juniors are starting to apply or at least think about where they're going to college. I brought this up for you two girls, but sometimes it's a gamble picking the right school. About 33% of students don't return to the same school after their freshman year. So here are 5 questions to consider before pressing that accept button. I want to ask you these things. Did you think about this? Let's bring up the first one.
Okay.
Is your scholarship front loaded? I didn't know what that meant. Katie, go. What does that mean?
I actually don't
You
know.
don't know either.
I don't know.
I assume saying front loaded, that means you get the money up front, maybe, because I know some scholarships are contingent on a certain GPA and things like that. So that's what I would assume that
Okay.
means.
So what they're saying is, I'm thinking when I read that, are you given all the money up front, and
Yeah,
then you pay over the next 2 or 3 years? You divvy up your own
No,
money.
that would be a loan.
Oh.
The scholarship would just be given to you, but I think sometimes you get it all up front, and then other times they pay for just maybe the one semester or quarter, whatever it is. You prove your GPA. It's contingent on certain things.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
So maybe
That's a
that's
good
what it
idea.
has to do with, yeah.
I did not receive a scholarship or take out any loans
I
for
didn't
college.
either.
But with the scholarship, if they're giving you this money up front, I mean, as a young child, I don't know if I could actually use it for what it's intended
do
for.
I.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So I would be scared to do something like
Let's
that.
just move along to these. I just thought this would be normal. How long will it take to graduate? Don't you ask those questions before you decide on the course?
I just assume it's a 4-year degree.
Oh,
Well, I
really?
think so many people go into college not knowing your major. So asking how long will it take to graduate,
Oh,
you
okay.
Kinda
don't
up
know
to
what
the-
you want to do.
All right.
It's kinda
What
up to
is
the
the
student.
school's post-graduation placement rate? This was interesting to me.
That is interesting. I like this question, actually. That is.
Did you ask that, Katie?
No, but I went to such a large school. I mean, Ohio State goes back and forth as the largest school in the country.
Right.
UK is a huge school, so I think it's relative. I think that percentage.
How hard will it be to switch majors? Did you switch, any of you?
I did several times, actually.
several.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
About 3 or 4 times.
It's
until I
really
finally
easy. You
figured
just
it
call
out.
them and tell them you're switching.
Yeah, I know, it's not a big deal.
And are you really prepared for a change of climate? What does that mean? Does it mean you go to a different state? Like, is it snowing outside?
I don't think it has weather. I don't think that's weather related.
Oh.
To me, don't you think that's more about the climate of the university, like being
Oh,
at a
I
university
got
like?
you.
Is that, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
kind of
if you're ready for it, because I know friends who went to a school. I went for a semester to a school that had less than 2,000 students for a
Right.
semester, than Ohio State, which is
Oh.
way different. So I
Big
think
difference.
maybe that's a climate you have to know.